Good afternoon, Ken Chua. It's very nice to meet you. I would like to ask about your opinions. The ASEAN Enabling Master Plan has been endorsed by the ASEAN leaders in the summit in the Singapore in the mid of last month. What do you think, your opinion that you or the other stakeholders can play in trying to implement the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan?
So I think first of all is that with ASEAN Enabling Master Plan is much wider scale, right?
Okay.
And where policy making is kind of sometimes very top grass level, we want to make sure that we can really reach the grassroots of the people with disabilities on the ground to capture their sentiments, that it's not lost. So I think that is one massive challenge, first of all. The second thing I think at the same time is with a lot of master plans, the recommendations are very generic and all-encompassing. So how can we be more targeted towards the decision makers and the actual entities that will implement these changes? I think we need to be more targeted on that. And lastly, I think with a region-level enabling master plan, we need to have member states to have a little bit more of an onus to say that if they know they have the expertise in a certain element of inclusion, that they step up and lead by example in sharing that knowledge and support in terms of resources. So for example, if we're talking about financial inclusion, we're talking about talking ATMs, Singapore has to step up. If we're talking about how to empower people on the ground who cannot get bank accounts or credit loans and stuff like that, we can look towards Indonesia, who's doing a lot of microloans and stuff like that on very inclusive technology platforms. So the member states individually have to step up if they know that they have certain expertise. Yeah.
So that's actually your recommendation and suggestion what it needs to be done
Yes.
to improve the ensuring the enabling master plan. What else that you think that is important for the ASEAN member states to do as well to ensure that the ASEAN enabling master plan will be implemented in all regions or ASEAN member states?
So I think each of the member states will definitely be concerned about the implementation in their own countries.
Yes.
But we should also look towards how our member states are doing the implementation, because there's a lot to learn from each other as well. It may not be direct translation of context, but there's a lot of lateral learning that we can get. If for example, Vietnam seeing the way Thailand does their levels of inclusion in the execution of the master plan, could learn certain elements that would help them, in the integration and fulfillment of the enabling master plan.
One last question. In the training, we discussed about the issues of the budget issues as a challenge for each countries to be able to implement the Asian Enabling Master Plan. What is your opinion about that?
So I think while there are definitely financial considerations, I think the first thing to look towards is that the enabling master plan is not just a responsibility that needs to be fulfilled, but there's also value to drive from this level of inclusion. So it's not money lost in a way, or money spent without any return on investment, because if we look at it from an approach where there is actual value to drive and disability can contribute back to society through these elements of inclusion, then I think it's well worth the effort and the resources.
Thank you very much.